Hey there, my name is David Lee. I'm a senior consultant with Ambit Energy. In this video, we're going to look at Ambit's new featured fixed rate electricity plans for Texas and why they are really customized for apartments and smaller homes, and then another one maybe for a little bit larger homes. And also, we're going to look at how you actually calculate that true average rate that includes all the charges, all the delivery charges, and any fixed or flat fees, and also why it's so important to know that to do an actual fair apples to apples comparison. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so I've already done a search for a zip code in the North Texas area, 75043, and that is serviced by Encore. So when you see these featured plans here, the two we're looking at is the new Lone Star Basics 12 and the Lone Star Plus 12. Now, the Lone Star Basics 12 is a little better for apartments and smaller homes that are going to be using around 1,000 kilowatt hours or less, and then maybe even a little more than 1,000 kilowatt hours. And you see here when you toggle to the average monthly usage of about 1,000 kilowatt hours, this number changes to 7.8 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, this is the average rate, which is a calculation including the energy charge, the Encore delivery charges, and any base fees or flat fixed fees. So that's what you really have to go by to do a fair apples to apples comparison, and we'll break down the actual individual fees and charges. Now the Lone Star Plus 12, it's actually a great deal and a little bit more customized for people that are using around 1,300 to 2,000 kilowatt hours, or even a little more than 2,000 kilowatt hours in a month. And you can see that that rate drops to 7.8 cents because there's actually a discount when you're using around 1,300 to 2,000 kilowatt hours, a pretty awesome discount. And we'll look at what that is. So when you toggle here, these numbers are only changing because the calculation changes based on the usage, and we'll look at why that's incredibly important to actually compare rates the right way. Okay, so let's use the Lone Star Plus 12, and we'll click on View Plan Info, and you'll see that the details of the plan come up in terms of the energy charge. So you can see here there are three different sort of tiers: 0 to 1,350 kilowatt hours, 1,351 to 2,000 kilowatt hours, and then more than 2,000 kilowatt hours. And there's different charges for each, which is why these are more customized plans. And then there's a $9.95 base charge that's always there. And then to dig into the details a little more, you're going to want to find the electric fax label. In every plan in any deregulated market in Texas, you're going to be able to pull up this electric fax label, or what we call an EFL. And so here it lays out, a few more details. Those three tiers that we already looked at are right there. And then there's that base charge. Now here are the Encore delivery charges. There's a flat fee of $5.25, and then there's a per kilowatt hour charge of $0.036513. Okay, so that's essentially like 3.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, so no matter how many kilowatt hours you're using, the Encore delivery charge is going to charge you that, and then there's this flat fee here. And we have to consider all of this when we're looking at an actual fair apples to apples comparison. You have to consider all of these so that you get your true average rate. So you can see there's a really hefty discount, and I'll zoom in here more, right here. You're only being charged essentially 1.2 cents per kilowatt hour when you're for the usage between 1350 and 2000 kilowatt hours. Okay, so that's why this is a better deal for the people that are using this amount of kilowatt hours or even a little bit more than 2000. Okay, so let's go do an actual calculation using all of these numbers, and you can actually apply this to your own usage. Okay, so let's say that somebody used 2010 kilowatt hours in a month in a billing cycle. Okay, so I've already got these broken down here because your first 0 to 1350 kilowatt hours is going to be at 4.4 cents per kilowatt hour. And again, if you want to go back to that EFL, it's listed here $0.044, which is the same thing as 4.4 cents per kilowatt hour. And again, that comes out to $59.40. Okay, and again, to do that math, pull up our calculator here. That's 0.044 times 1350, $59.40. Okay, now we know we're using more than that, so we can go ahead and just keep that in there. Now we're also using more than 2,000 kilowatt hours. We're using 1351 to 2,000, which that multiplied that by 1.2 cents per kilowatt hour, or 0.012. That comes out to $7.80 for all the kilowatt hours used, but from 1351 to 2,000. And then what about the kilowatt hours that are greater than 2,000? Well, there's only 10 of them, right? Because this is the total kilowatt hours used, and there's only 10 kilowatt hours past 2,000, and that's charged at 8.4 cents per kilowatt hour. And that math is obviously just 84 cents. 8.4 cents times 10 comes out to 84 cents, right? Okay, so now that we've broken that down, let's go factor in our other fees. So we've got a base charge of $9.95. That's a flat fixed fee. And then we've got the Encore delivery charges. Okay, well, let's calculate the Encore delivery charge of 0.036513 times, how many kilowatt hours did we use? 2010. Okay, so we got that times 2010. That comes out to $73.39. Okay, let's just go ahead and type that in. $73.39. Okay, now we have all of our numbers, so we can go add everything up and then get our true fixed rate for 2010 kilowatt hours used, our true average rate. Okay, so $59.40 plus $7.80 plus 84 cents plus $9.95 plus $5.25 for that fixed Encore charge right here, and then plus $73.39 for the Encore delivery charge per kilowatt hour. That brings us out to a total of $156.63, including all the charges, all the fixed flat fees, and all of the delivery charges. So that's everything that we need to know. And then once we have that, we can then take that number and divide it by our 2010 kilowatt hours used. So divided by 2010, that gives us a average rate of, multiply that by 100, of 7.79, if you want to round it up to 7.8 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay, so that's our average rate at 2,000 kilowatt hours used. 7.8 average rate. Okay, so now we know our average rate at 2010 kilowatt hours used. We want to, if you want to go back to our, this here, and that's why that comes out to 7.8. Now, if you did an automatic billing, like an automatic draft, it actually takes off 0.2 of a cent, okay? Not a whole lot, but 0.2 of a penny multiplied by 2,000 is $4. So that actually makes it a little bit cheaper if you're using, if your usage is actually 2,000 kilowatt hours. But that discount's going to be there no matter what your usage is. Okay, so it does knock off a little bit more. But you can plug those numbers in to any usage. Okay, so you can, let's say you only used 1,800 kilowatt hours. Well, you would just go back and do the same math and plug in the numbers the exact same. If you used 2,500 kilowatt hours, same thing. You would go back in and do the exact same math with the exact same numbers. And here, the only reason that would change would be right here, because these numbers would stay the same because you're still over 2,000 kilowatt hours if you're using 2,500. And then this here would be calculated at 500 kilowatt hours because that's how many kilowatt hours are over 2,000. So you can do that with any usage. Now, the reason the Lone Star Basics 12 is actually a better deal for people that are using around 1,000 kilowatt hours, let's look at that plan info. The big difference is that huge discount is being applied to the kilowatt hours between 500 and 1,000. You see, it's only 2.5 cents per kilowatt hour. And there's no base charge, okay? Remember in the Lone Star Plus 12, there's a $9.95 base charge, which when you divide that out by the kilowatt hours you're using, that actually gets stretched out a lot. But here, there's no base charge, okay? That's what sets this plan apart for the people that are using, around 500 to 1,000 kilowatt hours, or maybe even a little bit more than 1,000 kilowatt hours, okay? So hope that makes sense. Hope that brought you some value. And if you want a completely free, fast savings analysis of your Texas electricity bill, feel free to leave a comment below, and then also visit the link here, and we'll be glad to see how much we can save you and see which customized plan actually works for you. So if you got some value from the video, give it a like, share it out, and then definitely check out the link here or the link in the description below, and we'll be glad to give you a completely free savings analysis of your bill and see which customized plan works for you. So see you next time, guys. Check out some of the other videos, and we appreciate you for stopping by.